Hello, everyone. We just start by spending a few minutes together in guided meditation, and then we will come to address whatever questions you may have, whatever you'd like to explore. So just for now, sit comfortably and welcome. Whatever is appealing to you. You are this welcoming space, this welcoming presence. Don't try to change your experience or fix anything. Let things be as they are. Whatever sensations arising in your body, thoughts, images, feelings. No need to try to improve them or change them in any way. Allow the universe to express itself through you, whichever way it chooses to express itself in this moment. There is no separation between you and whatever you perceive. there is an intimacy. Whereby the thoughts or sensations or perceptions that you perceive and you are not two. Like the hearing of these words right now, the hearing them and you are not two. You don't need to do anything. Because you already are this formless awareness. Which is not defined by form, not defined by thoughts, perceptions, sensations. The reality is formless. Whatever thoughts that appear to you, which say you are this or you are that, they're just appearances, like the appearances of clouds in the wide open sky. A cloud may have the shape of a dragon. Then we believe the sky is a dragon. But the thoughts that appear to you and the sensations and feelings that appear to you, they don't truly know you, because you are the reality, the invisible, infinite reality which perceives. There is one reality. It's not in the improvement business, not trying to become a better reality, or an eternal reality, or a more peaceful reality. Whatever your reality is one reality. The reality of the universe and your reality are not two. The thought or the memory that arises and says you are limited, you're a person, a man and a woman, a mother or a father, a son or a daughter. It's just a passing thought that seemingly knows what you are, but in fact does not know anything about you, your being, the reality which perceives the thought. You don't need to define yourself or conceptualize yourself, because you are perceived conceptualizations. You perceive any formulation. You are not the creation of thought or the creation of the mind. You are that which perceives thoughts and mind. But the essence of all thoughts and minds, worlds and universes. in our ignorance, in our confusion about the peace of being, we are busy, very busy, trying to improve our feelings, the feelings of the body, trying to improve the image of the body. Identifying with the body is the source of misery. Unnecessary identification. Because you already are awareness, presence, to which a body appears, or a thought appears, or a sensation appears. We believe reality is material, made out of gluons and atoms and molecules. They're all models, scientific models. We believe that reality is material, physical. We perceive ourselves and we perceive the world via this model, via these lenses. Which distort, seemingly distort our understanding, our experience of presence, the peace of being, causeless peace. If you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, you should unmute yourself and open to turn on your video.
Hello, Magdi.
Hello, George.
I have something I want to explore. Not quite know what it is. That's why I need some exploration.
Okay.
As you know, I've been working with you on and off and here and whatever for I don't know how many years. It's been a long time. And during that time, I wanted to awaken. And I didn't awaken. And the not awakening and the wanting awakening, the difference, caused some suffering. Well, that's the way it was. And then about, I don't know when it was, about 3 weeks ago, I had this profound shift. You can call it a shift. I can call it a glimpse. I don't know exactly what it was, but whatever it was, it's no longer present. Excuse me, it's only present now as a memory. Excuse me. What I discovered was that there was no doing here. That, excuse me, the world was just acting through me, not by me. And then I looked at my life and I saw all my successors, and my successes were not my successes. And my failures weren't my failures. And then I saw the same thing for other people. And then I was imbued with a deep sense of gratitude just for my life. I am alive and I've had this wonderful life and I didn't do it. So that's all the good news. The bad news is I'm describing this to you, but I'm now describing it as a memory. The reality of this has been lost.
A glimpse, which is a sort of an understanding, a glimpse about truth, about reality, about being, about consciousness, which is an understanding, is never lost. The narrative about the glimpse is not the glimpse. The impact upon the body-mind, the impact of the glimpse of the understanding upon the body-mind is it's just what it is. It is the effect of the understanding upon the body-mind. But it varies, and it's not fixed. Effect of the understanding upon the body-mind. Now the narrative varies, changes, over time. There is a tendency to formulate the understanding. The mind wants to sort of formulate the understanding, which is sort of a natural process. But what sometimes distorts, the distortion is to mistake the narrative or mistake the formulation of the glimpse to represent or the impact that the glimpse has on the body-mind. Sometimes it's represented, conceptually, and sometimes it's a feeling. We mistake the feeling or the conceptual representation to be the glimpse, and then we want to sort of congeal the feeling maybe how we felt the week after, or the day after, or 10 minutes after. Want to congeal that and sort of make that to be sort of an object, that confirms our glimpse. An understanding is never wasted. An understanding about consciousness, or an understanding could be about mathematics, whatever it is, or about how an engine, your car engine functions. Is once there is an understanding, you can't revert, you can't put it in reverse. You may not, the mind may not know, how it worked, or what exactly, how do I exactly formulate this understanding. But actually, you did formulate the understanding. You did mention that there was no doing. Well, the universe was doing, and now the old doer, the pre-glimpse doer wants to do something about the understanding of the non-doing, or the non-doing.
Oh, yes, that's
so,
right.
So that's, and so we recognize that, which is so interesting that there is this glimpse, that, and this glimpse is, it's not reversible. It's not like say, oh, well, no, that I was, I was in a hallucination. It's not. It's unexpected. It's sudden. It's not something that is a result of thought. It's just a revelation or a glimpse. Now, but we can recognize that, oh, the good old doer has been an arrow hidden that is not killed, okay, because obviously he's resurfacing now, but it's not a big deal, because the doer or the owner or the resurfaces, and it's an occasion for us to see, oh, okay, to see it, but because there is the glimpse, the glimpse has occurred. There is a possibility to see the illusory aspect of this resurging or resurfacing owner or doer. Because of the glimpse, you have a higher capacity, let's say, just as a way of speaking, to see through this hoax or this illusion, you say. And just in the scene, it's just in the moment. It's in this moment, it's just, that's all. It's not like, oh, well, I see that this old pattern is just arising and therefore no, it's just, oh, I see it. Just the scene. Okay, interesting. See, because it's not about getting somewhere. It's not about overcoming something, or it's consciousness that's doing what it loves to do. If it chooses, the glimpse is, if it chooses the arising of, well, yeah, what, I need to sort of do something to maintain it. It's gone, but what am I failing? Which is all activities of thought, which is still related to the illusion. It's all consciousness play, but there is an understanding that becomes more and more, clear to us, that there is a show, and that we're not actually in the show. We're not truly a character in the show. And although consciousness is playing that, oh, I, consciousness, I'm a character in the show, there is also the understanding that, oh, interesting, it's just a show. So you're both, in a way, seated in the theater watching the show, and you're in the show, and more consciousness reveals to you more and more that, oh, well, yeah, you are in the theater and you are on the screen, but in fact, no, you're more in the theater than on the screen. And eventually, an image appears on the screen, the me wanting to own something, do something about something, becomes less and less where you're banking, where you're putting your chips, it's
Right.
like so it's all, let me say, God's play, and you is this transparent, infinite, invisible reality that right now is this transparent awareness, and to the transparency of being also is experiential to you. It becomes available, the transparency of awareness, of consciousness, somehow, which from mind's perspective doesn't exist at all, becomes more and more available to you in the moment. So it's sort of to live this transparency and invite this transparency, this presence, to sort of to reveal itself to itself, reveal itself. That's also available to you. It's experiential. It's available to you. It's not a thought, a thinking process. It's more a being process, being.
Yeah.
So I use the term, the transparency of being, referring to not the concept. Not, of course, the words are concepts, but referring to experientially. And that's where, like, more and more the rubber hits the road. And that you don't need so much to sort of have insights and experience this and experience that, because they're all, experiences are images on the screen. But presence, this transparent presence, this infinite, invisible presence, it's not an image on the screen. Of course, we can represent it in words by saying presence or by saying, but the words are referring not to some image on the screen. They're referring, it's like consciousness is sort of referring to itself via words, but the experience is not in words. It's not an experience of words or concepts. It's so it's all okay. I mean, it's all.
Well, it's okay, and it's not okay. It's okay. Well, my experience or the feeling is it's okay and it's not okay. If it's okay, it's great. I had this glimpse. Well, that's fantastic, and I never expected that. What a pleasant surprise. But the okayness is, well, what happened to it? And what I feel like asking, this is absurd, okay? But what I feel like asking you is, all right, so what can I do to bring this back? But that's an absurd question. There's no I to do anything to bring it back.
Well, there is, of course, a relative in the absolute. From the absolute perspective, there's nothing to do and nothing to go back to, and that you can't go back to anything. But but there is a significance to your question. So what we could do is we have the model of consciousness being borderless, being universal, and that I is this. So to live, what you could do is live, is explore living openly, sort of open. So whichever way this exploration works for you in your life, because you have a glimpse of the non-personhood, non-limited consciousness. So you don't need convincing about that. The mind is on board, that it's a model, and it's, a limited model that doesn't stand on any evidence. And there is no evidence that consciousness is universal. But it's worth it. It's worth trying it, because what happens is, like, when you adopt a model that is a true model, the effect is different than when you try a model that is a false model. It's like if your foot is size 9 and you try on, you don't know the exact size of your foot. You don't know it's a size 9, and you try on a size 8 or a size 12. The consequences of trying on the wrong size shoe, either you're going to feel really tight, or you're going to feel like the shoe is falling every time you take a step. But let's say, it's just a metaphor. Somehow you try a size 9 among the sizes 8, 9, and 10 and 12. And somehow you choose 9. The consequences of trying the size 9 is, you're gonna feel comfortable in that shoe. So explore living as with the model of consciousness being universal, although there is zero evidence for that, because there's no way to prove it. So but you can explore that, and the proof will be in the pudding. So you will see if the pudding, it will be a nice tasting pudding, or if what the pudding is going to be like, you see. So yes, that's what you could do.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Magdi.
Okay, Josh. Okay. Kai-Vai, I think you need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I hear you.
So you don't think there is any proof of consciousness being all pervasive?
Oh, well, we can have insights, like a glimpse into that consciousness it's not inside the body, or it's not behind my eyes. It's not limited to my skin or something like that. You could have glimpses of that, and a glimpse, in a way, has its own proof. You can't demonstrate a glimpse. You cannot run an experiment to prove a glimpse. And similarly, with consciousness, there are no experiments about consciousness, because consciousness, you can have an experiment about phenomenal things that you perceive, you can measure, you can run experiments. But in terms of consciousness, because consciousness is non-phenomenal, it is numinal. And because we are consciousness, the only proof, it's not a scientific proof, it's more of an inner insights. So yes, we cannot prove, there is no evidence that consciousness is limitless and universal and borderless. But what is more interesting is, because we believe that consciousness is personal, that consciousness is limited to the body-mind, that consciousness is personal, because we do hold that belief, and that consciousness is born and may die, or when the body dies, it may transmigrate from one body to another body, whatever, so many models. Because there is this belief on board, what we can do is explore whether there is any evidence for that belief. What evidence is there that consciousness is contained or limited to the body mind? What
Well-
evidence is there that consciousness arises out of the brain? You see.
Well,
So-
I was listening to a speaker today, and the speaker said, because I was under the impression that consciousness is the basis from which everything exists, and that from the non-dual teaching that it pervades the whole cosmos. And I looked at it as the intelligence that is the intelligent order of the world I live in. And so when I heard this speaker say that if I was unconscious, if I got a hit on the head, consciousness would not be. But then I was thinking, well, who's working my body? Because I'm not breathing me. And I always looked at consciousness as the intelligent order that was breathing me and running the show.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you, but what I was addressing, maybe I misunderstood your question, was if there is any evidence, that's the only question I was addressing, whether there is
I see.
any evidence.
I see.
But
Yeah.
But yes, I'm on board with you. Yes, consciousness is the primordial, reality. There's no other reality outside of whatever it is that is and that perceives and that knows it is and knows it is aware is consciousness. That's the candidate, and this, yes, it is the primordial reality and the source of what we refer to as existence. Yes.
Yeah, because I put my faith into a teacher, and then when I heard him say, oh, well, consciousness isn't, that's like not there if I get a hit on the head and I'm unconscious.
Well, there is a confusion. There's a confusion between sentience and consciousness. When the body is under anesthesia, or you gets or the head is struck
trauma
in a certain way, then the sentience of the body is affected. For example, there may be dizziness, or there may be a loss of memory, or there may be loss of speech, or there may be a faint, the fainting of the body. That refers to the sentience, not to consciousness. In the common language, the human language, they refer to consciousness as being something that resides in that the body is conscious, that consciousness is a body, is a physical element. That's a confusion. I often encourage to make a distinction between consciousness and sentience, the sentience of the body. The sentience of
that makes sense.
Yes. When you go to sleep at night, the sentience of the body changes. It goes from the waking state to the dream state, and then eventually to the deep sleep state where you're not experiencing any sensations or perception. But all that is at the sentience level, which are the states of the body.
Yes. So when you wake up in the morning after a deep sleep, that part of you, the body's workings, was one thing, which is what you're saying, the sentient level of going into deep sleep. But when I wake up, consciousness knew I was in a deep sleep, because consciousness had nothing to reflect on mind there because it was not activated. It was empty.
Consciousness doesn't sleep and doesn't wake up. That's the body. The body states, vary. The three states: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep.
Yeah.
They arise in consciousness.
They all arise in consciousness. And so then in closing, I got a bit panicked when I heard that, and I wish the teacher was there so I could clarify it. But I see that that the whole universe, that and I use this as an example a million times, my flower, my orchid, is also part of the consciousness as it moves toward the light, because it must on some level be aware that that the light is where in another place.
Yes, the thing is that consciousness being nominal, there are no parts to consciousness. So it's like we contemplate, for example, your night dream. Like in your night dream, let's say, for example, you perceive a unicorn, you perceive an orchid, and you perceive all sorts of people that are, whatever they're engaged in certain activities. All that appears in your night dream, they're not separate. They're actually your very being. They're your dream. They're not dream mind. So similarly, in terms of the orchid, the world, volcanoes, minds, universes, sensation, human experience, the experience of the ant, whatever, all the entire realm of manifestation, its essence is the dreamer's mind, is consciousness, like in your night dream. So it's not that there is an orchid that is separate from the unicorn, that is separate from those 10 people in your night dream. In fact, there is no separation. They're all your mind, your dream mind. I'm talking about the night dream. In your night dream, everything that appears to you is, in fact, has no substance of its own, no outside of your dreams, your mind, the dreamer's mind. They have no substance of their own. So it's the orchid in the waking state, for example, has no substance of its own, or a mountain, or a volcano, or a lake, or a bird. They don't have a substance of their own to have like a consciousness of their own or anything like that. No, it is, all of it is.
I see.
And like images on the screen, like when you project an image on the screen, you may have, 10 people, you may have horses, you may have mountains, you may have flowers. And it seems that, oh, well, the flower is not the mountain, the bird is not the lake, but in fact, they're all images on the screen, you see. And the reality of all the images on the screen is the screen itself. So the reality of the orchid and of the mountains, of the bodily sensations, of your thoughts, of your perceptions, the reality of all of that is consciousness. There aren't separate. I mean, but conceptually, it's helpful conceptually for the human dimension. You say, well, this is a rose, this is an orchid, this is a table, this is a mountain. But conceptually, that's a different representation. But the reality is non-objective, it's not made out of different parts. Consciousness has no parts. You consciousness, not the body. The body has many parts, the eyes, the ears, the feet, whatever. Of course, the world has many parts. In my car, the garage, the market, many parts. Similarly, like when you look in your night dream, you say, oh, there are many parts. There is the unicorn, there is the butterfly, there is the mountain, as a representation. There are many parts, but the reality of all these parts is the reality of consciousness. And consciousness doesn't go to sleep or wake up.
No. Would you say that consciousness is the intelligence?
Yes, absolutely. It is the universal intelligence, which also is experienced as a human intelligence. There is also because there's no separation between any parts in terms of the manifestation. There is the intelligence of the tide. There is an intelligence of the.
Yeah.
Yes, it is universal intelligence. Is consciousness. Yes.
Yeah.
Our notion about intelligence, we allocate intelligence to a particular body. We say, oh, this body is intelligent, this body is not intelligent. No. No, the intelligence is not arises out of the body. It is universal intelligence that manifests itself in so many different ways. It manifests itself in the artist's mind, or in the painter's mind, or in the bus driver's mind, in infinite ways.
In the ant's mind?
In infinite ways, of course. I mean, look at the ants, what they do. It's amazing. I was watching the ants, they're like, there are hundreds of them. They're carrying, leaves that are 10 times their size. And they're like, around, and they're like, it falls.
And they know exactly where they're going.
Right.
All along in a row. It's amazing, the intelligence.
Absolutely.
And so I look at all of that as consciousness without the name and form of an ant.
Yes, it's God's intelligence is everywhere. It's all of it is God's intelligence. Or
So
the
last
universal
question,
intelligence.
which has already been answered, but would you call intelligence an attribute of God, or it just is?
No, I would call intelligence, love, beauty, wisdom, freedom as attributes of God, attributes of universal consciousness. Yes, awareness, intelligence, love, freedom, wisdom are all attributes of consciousness. Wherever you have intelligence, you have love. Wherever you have love, you have freedom. Wherever you have freedom, you have beauty.
And wherever you have love, you have hate. Wherever you have freedom, you have, non-freedom. So there's all the duality, don't you think?
No, that's not. Well, if you look, for example, at anger, okay, so anger or hate. The hate arises out of, well, you did this to me. You shouldn't have done this to me, and I hate you, right? I mean, you promised you were going to do this or that, and you didn't do it, and so I hate you, right? That's what hate is. So, for example, as an example. So hate is based on the belief that I am this me and you are this you, that we are separate, and you did not meet my expectations. You did things that upset me, and therefore I don't like you. So, but when you look at whether the me and the you are real, when you will find that in fact it's just a belief. I believe myself to be separate.
Yeah, I hear you.
And so therefore the hate is just a belief. It's an illusion, because the me is an illusion, the you is an illusion, therefore hate is an illusion. So you cannot compare hate and love. Love is absolute, it's not an illusion. You cannot say that love and hate at the same level, because one is an illusion because it's based on the illusion of me, and love is absolute. It's not an illusion, it's the reality of consciousness. So therefore, just wanted to bring to attention that the attributes of consciousness and consciousness itself have no opposite. Mm-hmm. There is no such thing as non-consciousness. There is no such thing as non-love.
Yeah, because I was confused about that. And you're the only one who's really said it like that to me, I think. Yeah, I'm not really the smartest person on the block, but I understand what you're saying. Good. Out of the ignorance of thinking is the other is the doer and I'm the doer. Therefore, the emotions that arise in the human condition is an experience afforded by consciousness, but not consciousness itself.
Yes, right. Very well said. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So
yeah, I was very confused about that.
Yes.
Because the only attributes I see consciousness having is intelligence, awareness, and love.
Yes, love, beauty, freedom, humor, friendship, compassion. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. In fact,
thank you.
In fact, what really resonates deeply in our heart, the attributes that resonate deeply in our heart, that make our heart go, yes, they're closer to being attributes of consciousness than not. What
that make you sing.
Yeah, they make you sing. Yes, beautiful. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
I attempted many months ago to get on this website, but I'd never been on a Zoom before and I kept on messing it up. But anyway, that was the past, and here I am now.
Wonderful.
Listening to you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Katya. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions?
It's all a dance in Leela, and all the happy, sad, good, bad, and all of those things are in the dance. And the dance is provided by consciousness. or
Yes.
allowed by consciousness, like the movie on the screen.
Yes,
And the screen is not involved in the happy, sad, good, bad.
absolutely.
Although, in order to allow all of that to be, it would have to be love and intelligence,
Yes.
or else why bother?
Yes. Whenever consciousness chooses to play the game of ignorance, then at that moment, that's what it's choosing. And at any moment that consciousness decides not to play the game of ignorance, then it's just recognizing itself as itself. And because consciousness is not in time, it is always in the eternity of now, the eternity of presence, the eternity of being. Then we don't need to buy into the progressive, where is it going, where is it coming from? In fact, it's always the eternity of now. And that's an insight into the reality of experience, the reality of consciousness. It's never in time, but it plays the game of time. You can play the game of, oh, well, when I was 12 years old, blah, 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 my mom, my dad, my neighbors. So time arises as images on the screen of consciousness. They arise out of consciousness. Consciousness chooses to play the game of time and chooses to play the game of I, consciousness. I'm this limited person, this limited, what's going to happen to me tomorrow, or what happened to me yesterday, what's going to happen to my family, what's going to happen to my body, what's going to happen to my culture, to my tribe. It chooses to play this game. Whenever it does, and whenever it doesn't, it's always up and down. So at any moment in presence, as presence, we can take a look, like I think it's part of what George was asking. Any moment in presence, you can return to, not to what experience I had yesterday, what insight that I had yesterday, how long is this insight, how is it going to improve me, but you can turn your attention to presence, to being, and that this transparency of presence, the impersonal reality of consciousness, which is not in time, that you are not in time, you are not the object in time. Time arises in you, this perception appears in you. You don't need to buy into the improvement model. You don't need to buy into the improvement model, because improvement model is about time, me in time. You have to go explore the eternity of presence. Live as there is no other time but this presence. And in this presence, there are no separate things. There are no separate beings. Everything and everybody that you experience, that you perceive, is your very self. So you can explore, like George was asking, what can I do? Explore this model. Try size 9.
Be too big for me.
Right, I get it. Okay, well, very lovely to be with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, Magdi. Stay well.
Yes, you too, Justin, Mark and Alan, George, and